I'm going to give you an insight into my book collection here. It's pretty small here. It's a combination of me and Victoria's book collection, but we both have very similar interests, so we both read the same books. So both of us have read pretty much all those books there. Not very many. We've got a very small book collection here because we live in Spain now. We used to live in Ireland, and we have many more hundreds of books in Ireland which we just haven't shipped over. So we just have this small collection here of some books we bought with us, some we've bought while we're here, and so it's something that I look for whenever I get invited into somebody's home is, what's on the bookshelf. I get drawn into it immediately. I look to what are they reading, what's on the bookshelf, what books have they read, because it tells a lot about a person. It tells a lot about a person, what they're into, what books they've read, and if they've got books at all. You go into some people's houses and they've just got big TVs and a small book collection or no book collection. And I find I generally don't have much in common with people who have big TVs and no books. But folks who have a lot of books, I tend to have more in common with. I can have discussions with and things like that, So, people tell me want to talk about TV shows, what's on TV and what's happening in this different show, and it's just a complete disconnect for me, So, I want to give you an insight into this because it's something that interests me. You can find when I go into someone's home, I look for their book collection because then I can see if I have anything in common with them. I can see what I can talk to them about if we have any similar interest, So I find it interesting, so maybe you'll find it interesting looking at my book collection here. But like I said, it's only a small one at the minute. Yeah, as they say, leaders are readers, and some of the people who I look up to, who I admire, who I emulate, who I want to model in some way. They're all avid readers, some of them reading thousands and thousands of books. So I love to read, I love to learn, I'm a lifelong learner, and reading is vitally important. So maybe you can be inspired, if you haven't done so, just to have a daily reading practice where you read for 20-30 minutes every single day, something that's going to be educational, inspiring, that you're going to learn something from, not some trash novel or something. Something that's going to actually uplift your life or improve your life in some way. So without further ado, let's have a look at my book collection here. Let's start up here. We have all our let's look at Power of Pleasurable Childbirth, The Drinks Are On Me, that's about breastfeeding, the Water Birth book, Revising Water Birth, Spiritual Midwifery, Hypnobirthing. That's because we just obviously had a child 18 months ago, and we wanted to be able to understand and do it ourselves without handing our power over to a doctor or a midwife or anything. We want to learn all about it ourselves, so that's what we did, and we had an unassisted childbirth. Creating Healthy Children. So Victoria's read all these books. I've read 80% of them, of the childbirth books. Creating Healthy Children by Karen Ramsey. This is a great book. I highly recommend this book. Creating Healthy Children, Karen Ramsey, Through Attachment, Parenting and Raw Food. That is so comprehensive. That's an awesome book there. Yes, 50 Secrets from the Science of Persuasion. That's a great little book there as well. If you're interested in communication, obviously it's so important in this life to be able to communicate and be able to, influence our friends, family, and people with our ideas and things like that. The Power of Nothing. This is a great book, by Rini Hartman. He's a friend of mine. The Power of Nothing, awesome book. Get that one. Start with Why, Simon Sinek. That's a brilliant book as well about our motivation to do things. Start with the reason why you want to do things. It's really important, So there's loads of amazing examples in there about great people in the world, and what separates people, the great people, from the not so great. Continuum Concept, another great book. Childbirth Without Fear, classic. 101 Fantastic Juice and Smoothie Recipes. Just as it says on the tin. The Holographic Universe, one of the most amazing books. Incredible book that, if you want to get inside my head, that my head's kind of like, what's in that book? What's inside my head? So Holographic Universe, highly recommend that, by Michael Talbot. The reason I got that book was one of my mentors, I asked him a question. He told me he had read thousands of books, and I asked him, I said, okay, well, out of those thousands of books, just one book that pops out of your head, which one should I read? And he goes, holographic universe. He says, that's the wackiest book you'll ever read. So I said, okay, so I got it and read it. Yeah, it's amazing. I've read it 2 or 3 times actually. Some of these books I read over and over again. Krishna, the superior personality of Godhead, a Hindu Hare Krishna type book, which is again awesome. Pelicans, Coconuts, Butterflies, Conquering Cancer with a Life Force of Souls. Annie Casper, I interviewed her before. Yeah, great woman. The Breakthrough Experience, John DeMartini. I've read this book a few times, and there's lots of exercises in it as well. Brilliant book, brilliant man. Hugo, Spanish, of course, as it says. The Children's Material, Miracle. That's basically a children's material for the Course in Miracles, which is great for little kids if you're into Course in Miracles teachings. Guerrilla Social Media Marketing. Okay, but probably a bit outdated now. Costa Blanca, Mallorca. This is a climbing book. A book on climbing for the region here. I do a little bit of climbing. Born to Run, a awesome book by Kristen McDougall about the hidden tribe, super athletes, and the greatest the world has never seen. Also, awesome book. That loved it. Really inspired me at the time to run until I pulled a muscle. Rudolf Steiner, the Scientist of the Invisible. If you don't know about Rudolf Steiner, there's the Steiner schools, etc. Amazing guy. This is a biography on him. Check that one out, or check Rudolf Steiner out and his teachings. Again, unassisted childbirth, that's what we did. We want to get fully informed on everything we did. Psycho-Cybernetics, here's a classic by Maxwell Maltz, Psycho-Cybernetics. That's an awesome book, written, I don't know, maybe 40 years ago, but it was so applicable to now. It's absolutely fantastic. I recommend that one. I'm coming down here, The Psychology of Persuasion, how to persuade others to your way of thinking. Just really about how to get a win-win situation, rather than taking advantage of people, and how to do business in a harmonious way and interact with people in a harmonious way. It's a brilliant book as well. About communication, Doctor's Box, Baby and Childcare, as it says. Somebody gave us this book. We haven't read it yet. We Are Muslim, please. I'm not too sure about that one. Count Your Blessings, John DeMartini. Again, another awesome book about the power of gratitude. Influence, this is a classic here by Robert Cialdini, PhD, The Psychology of Persuasion. That's amazing. Amazing book. The Heart of Love, Dr. John DeMartini. Awesome book. Anything by John DeMartini is awesome. The Guardian of Secrets by Jana Petkin. I haven't read that. It's a local lady here. I bought her book. The 80-10-10 Diet by Dr. Douglas Graham. That is an awesome book there. That's on diet and nutrition, especially if you want to eat a raw food diet, vegan diet. This is a must read. Active Birth. Again, another one, like natural childbirth. The Art of Hypnotherapy. I haven't read this one yet. I just bought it. I am a master I'm supposedly, I've got a certificate saying I'm a master hypnotherapist, but I don't really feel like one, to be honest, so I'm just brushing up on things, although I get this here. I'm reading this at the minute, The Hero of a Thousand Faces by Joseph Campbell. This is an absolute classic. It's so sophisticated, this book. It's absolutely amazing. I'm reading it at the minute. Highly recommend that, especially if you're a writer. It's a great book, or just anyone really. The Writer's Journey, which is based on this classic book here. I'm also reading this at the minute. So reading these are the 2 books I'm reading at the minute, because I am a writer and I want to be an even better writer. And that's one of my visions for my life, is to be a great writer. So I'm on track. How to Get Super Rich in the Opportunity Market. Sounds like a I don't know, cheesy sort of title or something, but it's actually a brilliant book of just getting inside an entrepreneur's mind and seeing how it works. It's fantastic. There's nothing like held back in this book. Great book. By T.J. Rowland. I've read that book a couple of times already. You Will Be Thin and Feel Great by Matthew Armstrong. That's my book. That's my book I wrote a number of years ago. I've changed quite a bit since then, so I don't really promote it anymore. But yeah, it's a great book. It's a great book I read back when. You and the Law in Spain. I haven't read that. I'm not really into man-made laws so much. I'm more into the universal ones, and then bending them. Raising Vegan Children, Non-Vegan World by Erin Pavlina, Steve Pavlina's wife. Yeah, it's a good book there. Why Love Matters. I haven't got through all that book yet, but it's a great book about the heart and bringing up children, things like that. Optimum Nutrition for Babies and Children. Yes, okay. Mudras. This is I'm into my hand mudras, hand yoga. So that's like a reference book there if I just do different yoga things. Daniel Priestley, Key Person of Influence. Yeah, it's pretty good, especially if you're, into, business on the internet and having your brand and things like that. The Power by Rhonda Byrne. That's the lady who created The Secret. That's a interesting book there about love. It's pretty good actually. Radical Unschooling, a revolution has begun. I haven't actually got through that book yet, but it's about unschooling, not sending your kids to school, but actually homeschooling, but actually unschooling. It's a strange concept. Look into it. Bhagavad Gita as it is. This is obviously the old classic from thousands of years ago about the battle of Kurukshetra, with Krishna and Arjuna in battling it out. And then Course in Miracles. This is one of the most amazing books ever created, on par with any other book on spirituality or life or anything at all. This is just amazing. I'm a student of the Course in Miracles. Over 500 books actually. Over 500 books have been written just from the Course in Miracles, where people have been inspired by the Course in Miracles and written books. And that's why that children's book I mentioned up there about the Course in Miracles has been written as well. And then lastly here, Rainbow Green Light for Cuisine by Gabriel Cousins. Yeah, great book there. More on raw food and things like that by Gabriel Cousins. Great book. And down here, the raw food diet. I think we've got that free or something. Feeding your baby and toddler. Pregnancy, Children and the Vegan Diet by Michael Clapper, MD. Great book that. So that's it. That's our book collection that we have here right now. I quite often lend books out, so I've got about 5 or 6 books on lend at the minute that I've lent out to people. Where I'm just giving them information. Here, read that book there, and to try and help people out with different things like that. So I've lent out the World Peace Diet. I've lent out another one of John DeMartini's book. Yeah, there's a few out there at the minute. So that's our book collection right now. Like I said, if you haven't done it, start reading great books. There's giving you some examples in there, you might like some of those. You can actually learn a bit more about us and what we're into just by seeing our book collection. And it's a good thing. You want to know about people when you go to their home, look at the book collection, and you'll learn a lot about them. Okay, thanks. See you next time.